This is Natural Powerlifting Radio. Deadlifts, chicken nuggets, video games. This is Check My Total, a powerlifting podcast with Timothy Payne and Andrew Hinson.
All right, welcome everyone to the Check My Total podcast. Here we go, episode 48. We'll get this thing right one day. But so it's me, Timmy, and we have some special guests. We got Bryan Diaz and we got Richie, and who has a crazy nickname, which we'll get into. And so Bryan messaged me randomly last week around Friday about, my back pain and how I'm like an old man now. And he kind of went through the similar stuff, and we got to talking, and I was like, why don't you just come on the podcast? And then he had a buddy that has competed. So I'm excited for this podcast. We'll kind of see what's going on. But Bryan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Kind of tell everyone, where you're from, how old you are, stuff like that.
All right, so my name is Bryan Diaz, born and raised in Miami, Florida, 24 years old, graduated college last year in information technology. Right now I'm a network engineer. I do a little bit of powerlifting, and I do jiu-jitsu as well. I was once a wrestler and a football player, but right now I'm just learning powerlifting from Richard Arroyo here. And I don't know, just
cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you got some jiu-jitsu knowledge for me, since I just started that whole thing. Talk about that some. But Richie, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
All right, so my name is Richard Arroyo. I was born and raised in Miami as well. I come from a Cuban and Puerto Rican background. I'm 30 years old. I currently am doing powerlifting. I started a little under 2 years ago. And yeah, man, I've been just slowly building up.
Yeah.
Trying to build that total. I just recently connected with Bryan, and I've been fortunate enough to have him by my side, not only for my rehab, but we're trying to, start a team here. We're representing Miami, Florida with Dox Powerlifting. And hopefully soon we'll have a home gym that you guys could come visit us at.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, that'd be really cool.
So how did you guys find the podcast?
I started listening about a month ago. I just wanted to find something to do, my lunch hour, after I ate, stuff like that. Just looking around, and I saw the podcast, and I decided to listen. I've been listening since.
Sweet. So iTunes or?
Yeah, through iTunes.
Okay. That's too cool, man.
Hey, that's pretty neat. That's really cool that so y'all are in Miami, Florida.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty neat. So do y'all have a gym, or do you own a gym, or you just go to a gym with your team?
At the moment, we train at a UFC Kendall. It's a fairly new gym that opened up in our community. I have a backyard gym, garage gym, close to 1,000 pounds in free weight, Olympic bars, deadlift bars. We just recently, thanks to Bryan, got an actual Ohio power bar. So we're trying to upgrade the facility. We're trying to definitely get something we could call home, something we could give back to the community as well. Cater to everybody, not just powerlifting.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Just keep people active, man.
Yeah, and the more people you get in your garage, you'll eventually outgrow it to where you have to get a place.
Man, I like those garage gyms, man. They bring back the memories.
You definitely get some work done when it's in the garage.
It's actually in my backyard. So I just recently did a roof over it. So it's like a 20 by 25 enclosed roof, enclosed backyard. And yeah, I got everything in there.
See, that's even more tough.
I have 2 Olympic bars and a deadlift bar plus his power bar. And yeah, like I said, I got 1,000 pounds of free weights between everything.
Do y'all have a rack out there?
Yes, sir. We got a cage, we got a competition bench, and a homemade platform, 3/4-inch rubber, just like a regular platform. We went ahead and built it ourselves.
Well, man, y'all ain't playing.
Man,
yes,
that is
sir.
Really cool. Wow. Wait, did you and Bryan build the platform?
I actually built it with my fiance. who is
Oh,
also a
okay.
competitor. She does powerlifting and weightlifting, an old CrossFit competitor. She wanted a place that we could live with no problems, not too many people. So I was like, hey, let's just put it in the backyard. She was like, why not? I taught her how to cut wood and how to throw down some screws, and
Hey.
made a date out of it.
Man, what a romantic date.
That sounds like it was a couple dates.
Yeah, actually it was like a month's worth of dates.
Well, how did you guys find powerlifting to begin with?
I was brought into powerlifting before. I used to do bodybuilding. I was an NPC competitor. I've always been, I guess you could call me an ego lifter. I've always liked to lift heavy. And I had a friend who she introduced me to a few guys that were into powerlifting. Locally, we have something called the 405 Challenge. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a local gym. They set up a challenge, and it's basically a fundraiser for military and all of that. And they basically want to see how many times you can lift 405. Whoever lifts it the most wins. So those guys were the ones who introduced me to powerlifting, and I never looked back since. They let me deadlift 405. It was so sloppy and ugly, and I was like, hold on, we're going to get this. And I never turned back, man. I guess the ego lifter in me took over.
So is that what the challenge was, a deadlift, or just any way you could do 4 or 5?
Basically, any way you could do 405. You could use straps, no straps, just.
But you could like squat it or bench it?
No, just deadlift.
Okay.
Just deadlift.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I started about, I would say a month and a half, 2 months ago. I started training with Richie over here. Before that, I was just strictly doing jiu-jitsu probably 6 days a week and working out 3 times a week, but, just to keep the blood flowing and stuff like that, keep the strength up while jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, basically, like I said, I used to do bodybuilding, and the guys that were in that challenge, they were the ones that were doing all the local meets, and, I got really close to them, and I liked training with them. But they told me, they're like, Richie, you're not a bodybuilder no more, so you got to bring the volume down. You got to work on your technique. And they kind of fine-tuned me. I was fortunate enough to be next to some top-level lifters. And, I shadowed them. To say that I mirrored their every move, I mirrored their rep schemes, their, just their warm-up patterns, their lifting techniques, and just watching them, man. And they'd give me cues here and there, and over the course of 2 years, well, in May I'll make 2 years, so we're about to make 2 years. So over the course of that time, we just got better and better, man. Kept practicing.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like the simplicity of that challenge. Here's 405. Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, whatever you got to do, man. It's a crazy challenge. I never participated in it myself. I did get to watch it. It's pretty crazy. So the top lifters were getting about 405 for 40 to 45 reps. These are guys in the 220 class. The guys I'm a 165er, so the guys in my class were pulling 405 for anywhere from 12. The top guy in my class had about 18 or 20 lifts. So it was like, whoa, I want to do that.
Man, wow. So you're one. Are you still 165?
Yes, sir. So I've done 3 competitions so far. 3 meets, and I've tried. I came in at 165 my first meet, and I figured I'd try to get to the top of my class, and I've just been trying to dominate that 165 class, and thankfully I've been able to maintain my weight. I'm a pretty lean dude, so I've been able to maintain my weight, and we're trying to move up in my ranks.
What federation are you lifting with?
I am about to do USAPL, but my first 2 meets were RPS. I did Battle of the Bay in Tampa in February, not that long ago, actually at the beginning of last month. And I'm currently prepping. I'm in prep now for a USAPL meet in August.
Cool. It's really neat.
In Florida?
Yes, sir.
Cool deal.
Bryan, how much you weigh?
I compete in jiu-jitsu at 165 as well, but currently I'm sitting around 180. I decided to bulk up a little, but with my injury, it went up. The scale went up a bit too fast, more than I wanted. But I'm trying to cut back down right now. I'm about 10 pounds down right now, so we're just working from there, trying to get back down to 165.
Are those weight classes pretty much the same as like powerlifting weight classes?
Yeah, they're pretty similar. I mean, they keep around the same. In jiu-jitsu, it really depends on if you're doing gi or no gi competition, if it's both or is it individual. It really depends because if it's a competition for both, then the weight class will actually be 163. But
Okay.
if it's just for no gi, it'll be 168. So they
Hmm.
so it moves around a little.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and we have a couple different federations down here. We have a New Breed, we have Naga, we have IBJJF, ADCC comes down here sometimes. So they have different weight classes. They're minimal differences, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting that the gi and no gi would have different weight classes. Huh.
Yeah, if they're different competitions, then they'll have different weight classes, because
Oh.
sometimes they put them in the same. If they have them in the same day, then it'll be the same thing. It'll be
Okay.
the same weight class. Yeah, because the gi weighs 5 pounds, roughly. Depends on the gi you have.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh.
Do
So
people
what did you do no gi or gi?
I did
Both.
both. I competed in both.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
do people
I
cut crazy weight to do jujitsu?
oh,
Like competitions?
it's a little less common than wrestling. I'm a wrestler as well. I used to wrestle back in high school. There, we used to cut 15, 20 pounds in like 2 days and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in jiu-jitsu, it's not that common because you have a lot more bouts and stuff like that, and matches are a bit longer. You don't get any. You don't like, for instance, in wrestling, you have 2-minute periods. And in jiu-jitsu, for instance, white belts have a 5-minute, and as you progress in rank, the time actually goes up. So it gets to 6, 7, 9, 10, stuff like that.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice. Oh.
So, yeah, they don't try to
What
cut.
what jiu-jitsu school did you train at?
I actually train here at UFC gym.
Oh.
Yeah. So we at UFC gym here, we have different types of classes. We have jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, MMA. They have like these conditioning classes. And then they have a whole free weight sections which is where I do the powerlifting with Richie.
Oh, man, that sounds really cool. Sounds like a cool gym. It's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, has a lot here.
So how did you guys meet each other?
Funny story. It was kind of like a romance if you think about it.
Uh-oh.
So one day he passed by with his girlfriend, and they were there trying to do pull-ups, and his girlfriend was doing 3 or 4, died out on the 5th one. So I was like, man, if you guys use a band, maybe you could put it around her knees and help her out just so you don't have to assist her. And then I promise you, for like a week, every time I'd see him, I'd say what's up to him, and he was like trying to avoid me. I was like, oh man, this guy don't like me. And I left him alone. It was like some high school romance. I swear. I left him alone for a couple of days, and one day as I'm walking in, he's walking out. He stopped me and questioned me about squat shoes. We happen to have the same Romaleo 3s, and he just questioned me on how he feels when he's at the bottom, when he's in the hole. The things he has to do in order to, improve his squat. And we spent like a good, I kid you not, 25, 30 minutes at the front desk. My fiance was like, all right, come on, it's time to go train. And I'm like, wait. And I think from that day forward, it was like a match made in the gym. And we've grown pretty close ever since then. And yeah, man, we've just been training as much as possible. Whenever we get a chance, we all train together. Sometimes it's just me and him. Sometimes we got the ladies with us. He went ahead and surprised me and went to my last meet, and basically, handled me throughout my whole meet, made sure I was on top of my meals, obviously took all my videos, so we could show off later. And then that's when we just started getting together and brainstorming. We came up with the idea for Dox Powerlifting. Basically came from unorthodox, which was short for Dox. And we just... I'm pretty crazy in my training, so I was like, yeah, man, it's safe to say it's very unorthodox. It's not something you see on a daily. And he's like, nah, we need a different name. And after like 3 weeks, it's like, all right, it's an unofficial name. And we basically stuck with it, man. And it's safe to say we got really close with the iron.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm interested in this Dox powerlifting. So unorthodox training, like what kind of things do you like to do? What's your kind of philosophy or how you like to train?
My philosophy is shut up and load the bar. If it's moving fast, add 5 pounds. I like to train pretty heavy. I like to stay very consistent with my heavy weights. You know, I train a lot of triples. You know, my 5x5s are anywhere from 75 to 80% of my max. You know, and I just try to always, you know, not PR on every training session, but definitely I want to increase. So I do a pyramid. I pyramid up on a weekly basis. But, you know, some days are better than others, so we add a little weight. It's safe to say he's the same way because I have a program written out for him, and he's like, hey, do you want me to follow this? It's like, nah, man, that flew last week. Come on, add some weight. So we work off of percentages a lot, but like I said, we stay pretty high in our percentages.
So what's a week of training look like?
Week of training, Mondays, usually bench, Tuesdays, squat. We deadlift either Wednesdays or Thursdays, depending if we take a day off or not. Saturdays, we're doing a lot of accessories and, yeah, just a lot of shit talking next to the bar and a lot of heavy reps.
That's so you're basically training, you know, 3 to 4 times a day.
A
Or
week.
not a day,
about 3 to 4
week.
times a week, yeah, about 4 times a week, sometimes 5.
Okay. So it just kind of depends on how y'all are feeling.
Correct, yeah. You know, if we were able to take a day off and, you know, we recovered fast enough and, hey, let's go do it. It's safe to say I like chasing that pump. If anybody who knows me, I used to train at least 4 days a week and sometimes 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Like I said, you know, bodybuilding always kept me in the gym. It's something I love. It's my passion.
So, hey, bodybuilding or powerlifting?
No more bodybuilding. I love donuts too much.
And you can eat what you want to.
I'll walk into the gym with a 12-pack of donuts or like 4 packs of gummy worms. And everybody's like, dude, how can you do this? That strict diet don't work for me no more.
Would you say that was the hardest part of bodybuilding, was just the strict diet?
Yes. Anybody who knows me knows I love sweets. When I was able to cut out my sweets, I started eating a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies and things like that. My coach would get so mad at me. He'd literally see me on a day for one of my check-ins. Take your shirt off. All right, cool. He'd walk up to me, grab my stomach and be like, what'd you eat last night? Nothing. What'd you eat last night? I promise I had 8 ounces of ground beef. I drank all my water. I ate my rice, but it just wasn't working. He's like, no. You ate something else. And sure enough, he'd always catch me. So after my second show, it was like, all right, I need something new.
How much did you weigh while you were doing bodybuilding?
I went into bodybuilding. I walked into his gym at about 165 pounds. I stepped on my first stage at 153 pounds. I stepped on my second stage at 151, close to 152 pounds. That's the lightest I've ever been. We were close to about 4% body fat. It was horrible. To say I had food withdrawals, man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Man,
I could
that's
never
crazy.
do it, man.
To go from 165 down to like 152-ish, man, that's nuts.
Yeah, man. I mean, the aesthetics were there. You could see every vein on my body. I had cuts on top of cuts. It was crazy. I saw veins in my stomach that I've never seen before. I loved the look, but I hated the diet.
Yeah. How far out did you start cutting for bodybuilding?
That was the funny part. I started cutting on my own. I want to say about 2 months out of my first show, and I met my coach about 2 weeks out, and he looked at me. He's like, Richie, we got 14 days, and you need to drop a lot of weight. And I was like, man, but I've been cutting down. He's like, well, you need to cut more. He started bringing up my cardio, so he'd put me an hour fasted on the Stairmaster, work out in the middle of the day, and then I have another hour on the Stairmaster at night. In 8 days, we were able to drop close to 12 pounds, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is crazy.
That is nuts. Oh, my goodness.
What's your best placing in a show?
My best placing was open third.
Hey, that's on the podium.
That's good.
So we were third and fourth on that show. The show right before that, it was a really big show. It was a pro qualifier, actually. It was Miami Muscle Beach. I got 2 number 6 spots, so I made top 10, but I didn't make call outs. So I was like, whatever, it happens. We'll come back. The show after that was where I got 3rd and 4th. So 3rd was my best in open. I got 4th in novice. So
Okay.
cool.
That's pretty. Brian,
same
you
competition?
you gonna drop the 150?
I lost
Brian?
to one of my teammates. So
Okay.
Brian, you gonna hop on stage, man?
Bodybuilding? No, thank you.
nah,
I've done enough. I've done enough cutting in my life for wrestling.
You're done. You're done with the weight cuts.
I'm done with the drastic weight cuts. You know, I'm cutting right now. I'm down around like 10 pounds in about 3 weeks. I'm taking it easy. I know how to cut weight, and I'm very strict on my diet normally, so it's really not hard for me. It just takes time because I really wanted to. I could cut 14 pounds in like 20 hours if I really wanted to, but that's not the point of.
Oh
No,
yeah,
man.
I mean, hey, I believe you, man. Y'all wrestlers are nuts. Y'all do crazy cuts, man.
Yeah, we do.
Like absolutely insane.
I'll tell you one thing. I made a lot of enemies in this gym with all his jiu-jitsu friends because they say I stole him from them. And I'm telling him, yo, you just got to focus. We're going on a platform next. So his numbers have been slowly climbing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him on a platform.
Do you have a meet picked out yet? Bryan?
Yeah, he's going to compete in August, the same meet.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and just to get both of us on the platform at the same time, I was like, come on, man, I'll do it with you. And he's like,
Yeah.
for real? And I was like, hell yeah, man, let's go. That's what we're here for. We'll motivate each other in the back room.
Yeah. Hey, I'm excited. That'll be cool to watch, y'all.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that you get the ladies to film you.
Yeah. I mean, we all got tripods too, so we usually just leave it on a tripod, leave the cameras on, and we go from there.
Cool. So Brian, was it your injury that made you switch to powerlifting, or kind of what happened there?
I would say about a year ago, I started. I wouldn't say it's powerlifting. I would say I started doing heavier weights, but I was keeping in the 6 to 7 rep range. So I mean, it wasn't completely powerlifting. I was just, trying to keep the strength up as much as possible. And then eventually I got injured right before IBJJF. I still went through with the competition, didn't go so well. The pain started, flaring up. And right after that, I took about 2.5 months off. And right after, I just decided to stick with powerlifting. I go to jiu-jitsu once in a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been powerlifting since
Cool.
about 2. Yeah, it's been about 2 months. And it's got me addicted, seeing those numbers go up little by little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how you got injured?
Yeah, I had a 2 herniated disc. So I had the L5 to S1 and I had the S3 to S4. And I wouldn't say they were herniated. I think they were bulging. But yeah, I just started doing my own therapy from there. I told Andrew a little bit about this on Instagram. I did stretches I learned in yoga because I used to do yoga as well. I also started sleeping with this pillow wedge. It relieves all pressure from the back. And then also I got a stand-up desk at my job because I'm a network engineer, so I'm always at my desk. So
Yeah.
I wanted something I can.
I'm impressed. Like, so does it still flare up every now and then, or is it kind of going away?
No. It's completely gone away. I had it for around 2.5 months, and I got rid of it within like 3 weeks.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and this was 2 bulging discs, and it was extreme. I couldn't even get out of bed. I had to literally roll out of bed. That's all. I couldn't like lean up. I couldn't like sit up at all.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I couldn't touch my knees, like bending over touch. I couldn't do that. Yeah, it was really bad.
Wait, did this happen during jiu-jitsu? Like you were rolling with someone and it just something happened?
No. Actually, this happened, sitting 13, 14 hours a day. And eventually I was doing pause squats for lightweight. It was like 275, I think. I was doing pause squats and then something just popped and I was just like, not from there. And from then on, it took about a month to get to its extreme point where I couldn't even get out of bed. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
But get you a pillow wedge, bro.
I know. Yeah, he was telling me this. So you basically like how often did you do those yoga stretches? Like you were saying, you did upward dog and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
the
how
most,
often?
the one that helps the most is the Cobra stretch, which is as the upward dog. This really, it's the opposite movement of what you're probably doing. So you're probably doing a posterior tilt, which is pretty much the same kind of bend you have on a deadlift and when you're bending over, stuff like that. So when you're when a disc herniates outwards, you want to do the opposite motion to put the disc back in its normal place, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the upward dogs or Cobra, however you want to call it, does that. It goes in the opposite direction to push the disc back in. And then the pillow, it pretty much just relieves stress off of your back completely while you sleep. It's a bit uncomfortable at first, but you get used to it.
Yeah, because I was looking at them, and yeah, I didn't know they made pillows like that. You just lay on your back and like put your feet on it, and like kind of elevates everything. Like, because I'm used to sleeping on my side. I don't think I've ever fallen asleep on my back, so that takes a while to get used to.
Same here. I never slept on my side. Actually, I did a lot. I'm a person that does a lot of research when I do something. So initially I started with a method that involved sleeping on your side because I'm a side sleeper. So it involved putting your two pillows under your feet. Like you're in pretty much a fetus position, and you put the two pillows under your feet. This takes off pressure from your hips, because when you sleep on your side, your hips are not straight, pretty much. They're not aligned. So this aligns them and makes sure you have a proper back straightness, stuff like that. Eventually, I got to a point where I was laying on my back with the same 2 or 3 pillows, and that helped. It kept on helping. I was like, you know what? This is helping so much. I'm just going to get the actual pillow that's designed for this. So I got the wedge pillow. And from there, my back pain started going away a lot, faster.
Yeah. And so that standing desk is cool. So I guess your job was cool with you. Like, did you just like put in a request to be like, hey, give me this desk, or did you had to buy it yourself?
No, I bought it myself. I'm not. My job won't do anything. I bought my own desk. I bought my own chair and stuff like that. They won't do that.
Man, I wish I could do that, because I'm a programmer, so I sit down all day and clack on the keyboard.
Yeah, no, I remember programming days. I remember those.
You don't like those days?
Nah, I don't like those days. I used to program back in college. I intended on going into information technology and learning, mostly about networking. Little that I know, it's pretty much all programming, which in the long run, it's going to benefit me, because there's programming in anything you do in terms of computers, whether it's networking, infrastructure, or anything like that. So regardless, I have to learn. I know networking, I know databases, I know website design, I know programming for different stuff like that. So I know it. I know a little bit of everything, but I focus on networking.
Cool. No, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Richie, what do you do? What's your job? You got a job where you're focusing on the gym? What do you got?
No, by trade, I'm an iron worker, so I'm a welder and main connector.
Oh, hey.
Steel erection. So you guys are probably familiar with that out up north in North Carolina. I know you guys got some big iron over there.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, man. I'm getting paid to get high. I can't put it any other way.
So did you build your cage?
No, I'm actually thinking of building my own safety squat bar. I haven't done it. I got all the material and everything there. I just haven't gotten around to it. We've been coming here to the gym, so it's like, we don't need it here. But yeah, things like that, little things. I try to build all my little stuff, my deadlift jack, little things like that. But for the most part, I do just a lot of welding. Well,
that's a great trade to have, man.
Yes, sir. I wish we got the pay you guys got up there, but they don't pay iron workers down here the same.
Well, come move on up here. I know a powerlifting organization.
Hey, man, say the word, I'm there.
Oh, man, that's pretty cool, though. I kind of wish I could weld, but, like, man, y'all have some skills that, like, I do not have. Like,
it's pretty simple, man. It takes practice. After enough seat time, they say 10,000 hours at anything makes you a pro, right? So
Yeah.
Just grab a stinger and grab a hood and get to it, and you'll be surprised what you'll do in a week.
Yeah. Because isn't that job like pretty physically taxing? Like you're always working with your hands and stuff
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
if I'm welding, at most I'll be holding up 2-3 pounds, but for a long time, in a certain position overhead or whatever, weld I'm doing. But when I'm connecting, I mean, at times we gotta, swing an 8-pound hammer, just to get something in. You gotta fight the beams just to get them in if they're too long or the holes ain't lining up. So yeah, you got a bullpen and everything, but again, you're sticking a 4-pound bullpen in a hole and you're swinging an 8-pound hammer at it, and you're 200 feet in the sky. Only thing holding you is a harness, so you better hope you got balance. But yeah,
man, that's scary.
At any time we got to drop a deck, it's 30-pound, 40-pound decks, and we're dragging them 60 feet. So yeah, it's safe to say I get a workout at work too.
Oh my goodness. Do you ever get done with work and you're like, I ain't going to the gym, man. I'm tired.
No, that is called selling yourself short.
Hey.
Everybody tells me, man, I get out at 3 o'clock, sometimes at 5. It don't matter if we run a 10-hour day or an 8-hour day. I know I got work to do. And, everybody says motivation. What's your motivation? My motivation is my self-discipline. Anybody can have motivation, but at any given time, that motivation is going to leave you. You got to be disciplined enough to know that you're dead beat from work, but you got to do it. There's times I get out of the gym 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I got to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. My meals are cooked, everything's prepped. It's literally go home, eat, shower, wake up and do it again. There's times I got pains in my back, and it's like, is this a pain from lifting the iron or is this a pain from lifting weights? It don't matter. We'll get over it. Roll it out, put some icy hot on it, whatever you got to do. Sniff some more ammonia if you have to, whatever it takes. It's safe to say I'm a very loud person when I try to motivate people. So any video you see me and you're going to hear me screaming at the top of my lungs, and Bryan's taking after me on that one. So I've been lucky enough. I say it's the voices in my head, man, because when I'm at that bar, I don't see nothing. I don't see no one. I hear everyone. So those are the voices in my head. So I know what I got to do, and I know there's work to be done. And, I just think of the end result. I think of the day on the platform. I think of that first place. I think of that PR that I'm going to hit. I'm chasing a total right now. I'm trying to get my elite total at 165. And, we missed it by 30 pounds on my last meet, but we're back to the drawing boards. And, my discipline tells me I got to be here and I got a total to chase. Let's do it.
Man,
Brian's...
I love it. I love it.
Well, so you got me motivated. I'm just sitting here listening.
Man, I'm pumped. I wish I had to go to the gym. I just got back. I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Ain't no excuses. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Keep that fire, dude. I love it.
Yeah, man. Seriously, if you keep that fire and you spread it to other people, man, y'all, whatever y'all do with your gym, it'll keep growing. Your team, Dox Powerlifting, it'll keep going.
He already has spread it. I'm already I'm affected by this shit. I'm always I don't know what he says that we're going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week. I feel like we're going every single day. I feel like we're going every single day. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't get no rest days on.
We're lucky enough that our gym has a very big screen, and if you hashtag the hashtags for the gym, they go ahead and they post you on that screen. It's like an automatic post. Like, they don't really filter it or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's safe to say that at any given time, there's 12 screens on that big screen. Most of the times we got about 8 of them, and I've had random people walk up to me, hey, you're that dude on the screen with 5 plates on each side, deadlifting for like 4 or 5 reps. And I'm like, yeah, my name's Richard. Nice to meet you. And, we've met a lot of people like that. Well, like I said, that's how I met Bryan, and a lot of people have been watching. My fiance is a pretty impressive lifter. His girlfriend's a very impressive lifter. I don't want to say it's newbie gains because she keeps making gains on a daily. So I can't say those are newbie gains, but, they're both very disciplined. They're both, they eat to a T. Their nutrition is to a T. Their training is to a T. The way they approach the bar is to a, very, very, very calculated, to say the least. And every day they bring that intensity. Every day they bring that hype, and it just makes it that much easier to just scream at them, motivate someone else. I scream at them in a good way, I promise.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Man,
so you hashtag it and it pops up on the TV at the gym.
Yeah, basically. And
that's really cool.
it's safe to say we got a full screen on one of the screens, and then the little screen has two of our videos, and we all been doing it, and a lot of people have started doing it. A lot of people have told us, hey man, you got me into lifting heavy again, man. I've been watching you and your wife, and it's like, yo, this is crazy. And it's like, yeah, man, whenever you want, come join us, man. The other day we had
I'm ready to go right now.
Yeah.
When we getting tickets, Andrew?
Fly
we gotta
on
go,
over, man. Come on over. We'll show you a good time in Miami.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's really cool. I've just never heard of that. A big screen in the gym, and like you can just hashtag your post and it pops up. That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Oh.
Hey, I got breaking Miami news that just popped up on my phone. Conor McGregor just got arrested.
Oh,
again?
Yeah, he was at Hybrid Performance Method yesterday.
It says for allegedly smashing a fan's phone outside Miami Beach hotel.
Man, you people in Miami are rough.
Y'all lifting outside under the carport?
Man, that's really cool.
So I guess is the rain really all you have to worry about as far as it being outside?
It hasn't been raining that much.
I mean, it hasn't been raining that much now. The weather is very bipolar. It'll be cold one day, and then mid-afternoon it jumps up 20 degrees. It's like, whoa, where'd this come from? The next day drops to like 60. Our winters are like what, 55, 60? They ain't that cold.
Wow, that's a nice winter. That's a really nice winter. Hey, Bryan, how are your numbers going right now? Like, what's kind of where do you start at, and kind of where are you at now?
All right, so like I said, I started about 2 months ago. I would say for deadlift, I've gone up. I never really used to test my max, but I would say it's gone up around 90 pounds. I'm right now around 480, 485. I think it was 480, I believe. Right?
It was 480. No, you took 495.
I hit 485.
495 on deadlift. He finally hit 315 on bench, and squats is 355, 360.
Well, no, it was 355, but I've been lately in the last 2 weeks I've been hitting 335 for sixes and stuff like that. So hopefully I can go for a PR maybe next week and see if I can bring that number up.
So my goal with him was I wanted to bring him down a little bit. I wanted him to get comfortable. Same thing I told his girlfriend, I want to build confidence. Unfortunately, this is a light weight that you're getting bored of, you're getting tired of, but the more squats you do, the better your squat form is going to get, the better any of your technique is going to get, really. Basically just building confidence. You could take 335 for 3 sets of 6. Come on, man, let's up it. And little by little, we've been doing that. I'll let him try to go for singles whenever he feels confident and ready for it. And so far, every time he's gone up in singles, he hasn't let me down. And, I'll tell him right before, hey, man, I want to see it. That's one of my biggest things. I want to see it. Show it to me. I'm going right after you, so you need to give me some height. So he'll normally go ahead and take it. He'll see me do a big squat after, and he wants to add more weight. So little by little, we've been going up. We haven't gone for a PR in a couple of weeks, so we might be doing that soon.
Okay.
Nice.
So Bryan, this meet in August, are you wanting to cut down to 165 or stay 180?
No, I'm gonna cut down to 165. I have 5 months. I mean, I'll probably be down to 165. I'd say in about a month and a half. I'm just taking it slow. I don't like. I know how to slow it down, but I also know how to speed up. So if anything, if I'm like 170, I'll do a 5-pound water cut, and it'll be not really a big deal.
I also tried telling them, this is your first meet. Let's just get out there and have a good time. We can worry about that later. I know he's very good at water cuts, and he's shown me a few tips and tricks. But, I always tell everybody their first meet, don't worry so much about water cuts, or anything like that, trying to lose too much weight. Unfortunately, it will affect performance, and, that's something that might get you in your head on a day of your first meet. Worry about that later. If you want to stay at that class, if you think there's room for improvement, we'll make that decision that day. We'll see how you feel at the body weight, and we'll try to take it from there. We'll make cuts and we'll make adjustments periodically according to how he feels. Same with the weight. I'll see how he feels on the weight, and we'll adjust accordingly.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's different. Like, it's a new sport. You're not. It's different than lifting in the gym. In the gym, you kind of do what you want. I mean, the weight might be the same weight, but on the platform, everyone's watching you. You got these judges. doing hand motions at you. You got people giving you commands to listen to. So it's different and it's a lot more like intense when you're new to it.
I understand. Yeah.
It's also pretty exciting when you're new to it. At least for me, man. My first meet, everybody was telling me, Richie, you need to calm down. And I was already getting in my head. I'm like, nah, man, I'm going to talk shit to the competitors. I'm going to get them in their head. And they're like, yo, you better not let us down. Like, you're talking all this crap. You better make sure you come out and perform. But for some reason, the more crap I spoke, the more excited I got. I was started helping people from other teams. They're like, Richie, are you going to have energy for your lifts? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm bouncing around from team to team. Like, yo, what do you need? You need to get wrapped? You need a smack? You need some ammonia? What you need?
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's just say Richie's the loudest person in the room and always willing to help out everybody. Always. Hey, Richie, we got a set too. No. Let me go help out this person real quick. 5 minutes later. All right, you ready for your set, man? You ready? Come on.
Like, man, I've got cold now.
Yeah, this is why we spend 4 hours in the gym every day.
Nah, man, I do enough screaming that we don't get cold that easy, And I'm like he said, man, I'll go from the squat rack to somebody's bench to give him a handoff and run back to the squat rack. But I'm constantly moving, so
that's a good attitude to have, man.
Yeah, man.
That's how you do it, man. You just share it with other people, help them out. That's how you do it.
One thing that you do see a lot at meets, you see a lot of people, they come in with a bitter face. They're in their zone. They're trying to get in their hype mentality. And it's like, hey, man, I get it. We're not friends or anything, but, we're here to help each other out. At the end of the day, you might need me to wrap you. You might need me for ammonia. You might ask me if I got chalk or straps or whatever. It's like, man, we ain't trying to fight nobody. We ain't trying, people always think, oh, you help out the girls because, you want to score. And it's like, nah, man, I got my girl at home for that. Like, I just want to see people improve before I see somebody hurt themselves. Man, like I said, I had a motorcycle accident. I know what it is to come back from an injury, and it sucks to have downtime. I've had about 6 months downtime because of a torn rotator cuff and a herniated C6, C7. And it's like, man, that was the worst time. Like, all I wanted to do was lift. So if I could avoid somebody from taking that downtime, just with a helpful tip, I mean, it's free, man. Like, here you go. It's a tip. Take it or leave it. That's up to you. We're here to help, man. We ain't here to break nobody. We're here hopefully trying to help you make some bigger numbers. We want to see gains.
Yes, sir.
Hey, speaking about your motorcycle accident, you said you had a nickname. So kind of tell people your nickname and like what happened. What's the story behind it?
All right. So my nickname is Casco Roto. It's Spanish for broken helmet. And April 23rd, 2011, I had a motorcycle accident. I was riding a street bike. I was a little over 110 miles an hour on a local road. Lady down here, one thing you do got to worry about in Miami is reckless drivers. I was reckless for going over speed limit, and she was reckless because she took a red light and she opened up her right turn. And instead of into the first lane, into her right lane, she opened up into the outside lane. I tried swerving around her. Unfortunately, at the speed I was going and the amount of space I had, I sideswiped her car. My bike kept going about another 6 or 7 blocks, and my head smashed against the floor. I had 2 subdural hematomas to the outer layer of my brain. So after being airlifted to Ryder, which is our local trauma center, I basically underwent 2 cranioplasties. One of the cranioplasties was to remove a piece of my skull so the swelling would subside. The second one was about 2.5 months later to put a titanium mesh that's held together with 2 bolts. Basically had to learn how to relearn how to walk. Luckily a lot of my motor skills were there. Just walking was really a pain. I mean, I spent so many days not being able to walk. I was in an induced coma for 7 days. I lasted a total of 21 days in the hospital.
Wow.
So yeah, they gave me the nickname. I got a scar across my head. It looks like a backwards question mark. So people always called me Broken Helmet, Casco Roto.
Casco Roto.
Well, I'm happy you're alive for one thing.
That is intense. Like, man. So they take a piece of your skull out?
Yeah. So in your skull you have 3 holes. You have the 2 holes for your eye sockets, and you have the hole in the back where all your nerves and everything comes through, all your veins, everything come through, which is basically on your spine. The first one to swell up, to fill in, is the one on your spine. The second one to swell up is your 2 eye sockets. Due to the amount of swelling in my brain, my eyes look like golf balls. I was literally minutes away from dying. I was blessed enough to make it in time, and I had a very, very talented surgeon that took my surgery. And basically, I spent 2.5 months without a piece of skull, so it looked like I had a crater in my head, and it was basically so the swelling would go down. Even when they took the wraps off my head, even when they took everything off, man, I looked like an alien, man. Like I had a big old bulb on the back of my head, and it's safe to say I still got a couple loose screws in there.
I didn't know that. I just didn't know that was a thing. Like you can live without some of your skull.
Well, yeah. So they take it off. I mean, they gave me a helmet. I was telling Bryan the story the other day. It was a regular skateboard helmet, and basically wherever I went, I had to wear this helmet. But everywhere I went, I'm a grown man wearing a helmet. People would just look at me. It kind of got to me. So I would always take it off. But they look at me even more because now you're missing a part of your head. I was like, all right, cool. And it was pretty crazy because the guy tells me, he's like, hey, you're going to be on the waiting list for about 6 months. And I was like, whoa, I can't do that. Like, dude, I cough. I get dizzy. I look up. I get dizzy. Like, if I get dizzy and fall, my brain's exposed, man. At any moment, like, I could die. And you'd see the pulsating like through the skin of my brain, and I was like, man, this is nuts. Like you touch it, it was soft. Like the piece of skull was missing. It was gone. Like they cut it out. They put it in a bone bank. They have 2 options. You could either put it in a bone bank, or if it's small enough, they'll put it in your fat. I guess they had to put it in the bone bank because I have very low body fat, so they didn't really have nowhere to put it in my fat. So out of the piece that was taken out, 65% of it was completely gone. The other 35% was the piece that they were able to save, and they basically missed that with a titanium mesh. So think of a drywall. You got the netting for the drywall. You put the netting over the hole, and then you plaster it with the compound. Same thing. They basically centered that little small piece of bone in the middle. They put the netting around it, and the titanium mesh basically gets harder over time. It's safe to say I got a disfiguration, a deformality in my head, but it's a story to tell.
Yeah, that's the craziest story I've heard in a long time. Like, good night. And you said you had to relearn how to walk?
Yeah, so the hardest thing for me was walking again. I guess, I was getting about 12 different medications 3 times a day. And it's safe to say that they had me very, very drugged up, and the first time I went to get up, I was completely dizzy from not standing for so long. I fell flat on my face, and my brother caught me mid fall. And they basically told me, they're like, dude, you got to learn how to walk again. Like right now, you have no strength. Right now, imagine we cut so many nerve endings when we split your head open. You basically got to retrain yourself. And I was like, okay, sure. There's a McDonald's at the bottom of, like in the first floor of that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I was able to walk, I would grab my IV. They gave me the mobile IV, and I literally just walked to the McDonald's. It would take me like 30 minutes. They tell me, Rich, you can't leave, but I was so claustrophobic being enclosed in a room for so long that I was like, yo, I'm getting out of here. At some point during that time, I told my surgeon, I'm like, listen, I refuse to take so many medications. Like, I'm slurring my words. I'm saying ridiculous things to people I don't know. Like, yo, this isn't me. And he's like, look, we have to do this. And I was like, yo, sign a waiver. I'll sign a waiver that I don't want to take any medications. I don't like taking pills for headaches, so
yeah,
it was something I wanted to do on my own. And, the surgeon told me, he's like, man, I advise you not to ride a motorcycle again. You're going to have trouble walking and learning your basic motor skills. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, sir, you don't know me, but that was the most inspirational thing you ever told me because I'm going to prove you wrong. I think it was more of a challenge for myself than for the doctor. For somebody to tell me, hey, I'm not going to walk again. No. After that, we jumped on 2 bodybuilding platforms, and we've jumped on 3 powerlifting platforms. And we ain't stopping, man. We ain't done yet. We got a story to tell, and we're going to tell it one way or the other. It's going to get heard.
Are you still riding bikes, though?
I am riding bikes. I don't own
He proved the doctor wrong.
Well, he told me, he was like, hey, man, you're never going to ride a motorcycle again. 6 months later, when I had my follow-up, I brought him a video of me at an MX track. And then I showed him another video of me doing a wheelie down the block. He's like, yo, you're crazy. I was like, yeah, man. At least I know if I die with a smile on my face.
Wait, you did that 6 months from when you couldn't walk?
6 months after getting out of, 6 months after getting out of the hospital, yeah.
Oh, my goodness, man. That's quick.
Yeah, man.
Wow, man. That's inspirational.
Yeah.
Good night. That is wild, man.
I would just listen to this podcast before I go outside to do anything.
I know.
Well, if you want, you guys could follow my Instagram. I don't know if you guys are on Instagram. If you give us yours, we'll go ahead and follow you guys as well. Casco Roto Lifts. So for whoever's listening, CASCOROTOLIFTS. Casco Roto Lifts.
Yeah,
you'll see my
definitely.
story there. You obviously see the links to our team page and all of us. And we're always posting up videos. We're always trying to post inspirational things, just to push people. We know we got a lot of people watching, and if we could influence one person, hey, we did a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you have your Instagram, and then so your Dox Powerlifting is it Dox_Powerlifting?
Yeah. Dox_Powerlifting.
DOX.
DOX_Powerlifting.
Yeah. So yeah, go get them info. And then Bryan, what's yours again?
My Instagram handle?
Yeah.
So it's B_Royd54. No, I'm not on roids. No, I've never been on roids. Old school nickname. It's stuck with me, and it's gonna keep on sticking with me, I guess.
Oh, another nickname. How'd you get this one?
Back in high school, I used to wrestle, and I used to play football as well. I played football for 8 years. So I played outside linebacker, weak side, and I played center. So I don't know if you guys know what the center does, but he pretty much is the one that snaps the ball to the quarterback and defend. And
At 165?
At 152.
What?
Yeah. So I looked like a triangle pretty much. I was extremely lean, extremely cut. I would go to the gym twice a day, then go to wrestling or football depending on the day. Sometimes both.
Yeah.
I was extremely lean back then. I had I was a lot more impressive back then than I am now. But I'm trying to get back to that form slowly.
Wow, that's crazy that you were that light and you played the center.
Yeah. I played it for so long. I played O-line for 8 years. So it wasn't really about the strength. The strength helped, but it was a lot about technique. Where exactly to hit these guys that would stop them right in the tracks. Stuff like that. And I was a small linebacker too. Going against these running backs, 200 pounds, stuff like that. It was tough, but my coach always said I was as tough as nails. So I was.
Yeah. So are y'all fans of the U?
Repeat that for me.
So are you fan like the U, the University of Miami?
Honestly, I played football for 8 years. I've maybe watched 3 games of football in my life. I don't like watching sports. I never watched wrestling. I never watched anything. But I like actually playing the sports. I like competing and stuff like that. I'm not really much for watching it. If I want to watch football, I can go out inside and play. Until this day, I still go outside and play some flag out with my boys. Stuff like that.
Hey, we're powerlifters. It's safe to say our attention span ain't too long. Anything over 4 reps, we lose count. To sit in front of a TV for four quarters, yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
It's funny. We were doing 8s last Thursday, but the way we do them is that we count to 4 and then we start over and count to 4 again.
Well, every set we got to 10, we always lose count. We either do 9 or 11, but we never get 10. It's like, hey man, count for me next time, all right?
Oh man, that's so funny, man. Oh man, y'all are cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get you back on. Check in a few months from now, see how your meet prep's going.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that.
When did you say the USAPL meet was? Did y'all say August?
Yeah, August 16th and 17th. I don't know exactly which day we have.
But we got 2 in April, so his girlfriend is gonna compete April 9th,
April 6th.
April 6th, and then at the Nova, it's a state meet, it's a state regional, and then My fiance is going to Ohio, so we'll be taking a trip to Ohio April 12th for collegiate nationals. She's gonna be representing FIU, and she is a
No, she's a 63 kilogram.
63
Yeah,
kg.
They're both 63 kg.
Man,
This has
that's
been a big milestone for her. You know, she's been trying to get on the team since last year. You know, unfortunately, she decided to venture out into weightlifting, and she did very good. She did her first super total meet, and she took home gold on both. You know, so I told her, I was like, listen, man, you want nationals really bad. I think you need to focus on one or the other. Let's dominate nationals. Let's kill nationals. Let's get that out of the way. And then we'll go back to the drawing board, man. We'll take it back to the lab. If you want to do weightlifting, we'll go back to weightlifting. If you want to do another powerlifting meet, we'll definitely do that. So she's pretty hyped right now. She's definitely getting ready for nationals. You know, she's getting stronger by the day, and you know, we're just trying to focus on the game plan, man, and just stick to the game plan. They're actually upstairs benching right now. She's like, hey, man, where you going? She just finished taking 135 for a triple. And I'm like, nah, man, I got to go downstairs real quick. I'll be right back. You're in good hands. And we left them alone. So who knows what they're doing right now.
Oh, they're probably back at home. It's not been an hour.
Just about.
But yeah, do y'all have any like last things you want to say? Any promoting of Dox Powerlifting or whatever? Y'all got anything?
Whoever's out there, man, and whoever needs some inspiration, some motivation, you know, just something to look at before you come train. Dox Powerlifting, DOX_powerlifting. Just follow us on Instagram. We follow back. We friendly. We don't bite. We like for like, follow for follow, however you want to say it. But yeah, man, let's try to bring this community together and, you know, get stronger together. You know.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad. Bryan. I'm glad you messaged me, man.
No problem. Glad I could help.
I'm glad you got a hold of Richie too.
Yeah.
No problem. Again, thanks for having us, man.
As with all, we got to end this one going out on a bang. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Miami, you got the man, Bryan, with the nickname Royd, and you got the man, Richie, with the nickname. Hold on, I can't. I'm really bad at Spanish. I got to look this thing back up again. Hold on. It's like, it's something. Hold on. I got this. I got to pull up the Instagram and go
Come
to
on,
it.
baby. You got it.
I got
It
it.
starts with a
It's,
C.
It's Casco Roto.
There
That's
you
the
go.
man right there.
Close enough.
Close enough. I'm really bad at Spanish, y'all.
No, that was on the money, baby. That was
That's
on
right.
the money.
I'm really bad.
Keep it rolling.
3 white lights right there.
That's right. 3 white lights for the man. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want some inspiration, check out Dox Powerlifting all the way in Miami. They are doing great things. Check out Bryan, keep up with his meat prep, and check out Richie when he goes to the platform. They're competing in August at the USAPO. Keep up with their training. Follow them, like them. Keep up with their ladies. They're all strong. Keep watching. We love you all. Have a great night. It's been a fun one.
We're
Have
out
a
of
great
here.
night, my man.
Up next is the IBP Tar Heel State Powerlifting Championships in Belmont, North Carolina on April 20th. For more details about the competition, go to ironboypowerlifting.com.
Please subscribe and thank you for listening. Be sure to follow @CheckMyTotal on Instagram for all the latest updates.
I was under the misconception that it was gonna be live, so I told everybody, "Yo, it's going live. It's going live." I got like I got literally like 5 different DMs. Hey, it's not live. What's the name of it? I'm like, nah, man, I don't think it's live. I think it's gonna be on in a couple of days.